Hi everyone, myself Dr. P. Soumya, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry. Today in this session, I'm going to discuss about environmental pollution. This is from the Environmental Pollution Control Technologies and Global Environmental Problems module. So in this session, I'm going to cover the topics environmental pollution, water pollution and soil pollution. So here, what is environment pollution? In that types of environment pollution, so four types. So in this environment pollution, I will discuss about water pollution and soil pollution. So here, introduction to environmental pollution. Here, for normal and healthy living, a conductive environment is required. For normal and healthy living, a conducting environment, it is required by all the living beings, including humans, livestock, plants, and microorganisms and wildlife. So the favorable unpolluted environment. So this has a specific composition. So when its composition gets changed by addition of harmful substances, the environment is called polluted environment, and the substances being the substances which are used for polluting the environment, so these are called as pollutants. So here for a favorable unpolluted environment, so here for favorable unpolluted environment, it is having a specific composition. So when this composition so gets changed by addition of harmful substances, harmful gases, harmful substances, so that is called as environment is called as polluted environment. The substances which are used for the polluting environment, so these are called as pollutants. So here, what is meant by pollution? The term pollution can be defined as influence of any substance causing harmful effects and uneasiness to the organisms. So here it can be defined as the influence of any substance that causing harmful effects and uneasiness of organism and human beings. So what is pollutant? Any substance that causing harmful effects or uneasiness to the organisms, so then the particular substance may be called as the pollutant. The substances which are causing the harmful effects and uneasiness to the organisms, these are called as pollutant. So definition of environment pollution, so this is any undesirable change in the physical, chemical or biological characteristics of any component of the environment, so which can cause harmful effects on various forms of life and or property, it is known as environmental pollution. So here it is an undesirable change in the physical, chemical or biological characteristics of any component. So like environment, so that is environment, we are having air, water, soil. So here any undesirable change in the physical or chemical or biological characteristics of air, water, soil. So these can cause harmful effects on the various forms of life. So like human beings, wildlife, microorganisms. So that or the property, that is known as environmental pollution. So that is known as environmental pollution. So here types of pollution. So we are having water pollution, air pollution, land pollution, noise pollutions. So many types of pollutions are there. Main pollutions are water pollution, air pollution, land pollution and noise pollution. So here, what is water pollution? So water pollution, it can be defined as alteration in physical, chemical or biological characteristics of water through natural or human activities and making it unsuitable for its designated use. So here, so it is not suitable for usage. So proper usage of human activities and like that. So here, water pollution, it can be defined as the alteration in physical, chemical or biological characteristics or properties of water through natural or human activities. So making water, it is unsuitable for usage, so that is called as water pollution. Fresh water, it is present on earth surface, it is put to many uses. We know that the fresh water present on the earth surface, it is put to many uses. So we are using this water for many purposes. So it is used for drinking, and it is used for drinking and domestic and multiple municipal uses, and also used in agriculture, irrigation, industries, and navigation and recreation. So we are using the fresh water in different purposes like drinking, and it is used as a domestic, it is used in domestic and municipal uses, and it is used in agriculture for irrigation, and also used in industries, navigation, and recreation. So the used water becomes contaminated, so and it is called wastewater. So we are using water in different purposes, but we are contaminating the water. So here when we are using this water, that used water by industries, agriculture, industries, and navigation, so this is contaminated by contaminated, and this is called as wastewater. This is called as polluted water. So here sources of water pollution. So most of water pollution, it is man-made. So it may also occur naturally by addition of soil particles through erosion, animal waste, and leaching of minerals from rocks. So here many sources are there. So most of water. So this is pollution. It is man-made, and also it may also occur naturally by the addition of soil particles into the water. So otherwise animal waste. So here particles through erosion, animal waste, and leaching of minerals from the rocks. So this is the pollution reasons for behind the pollution, water pollution. So the sources of water pollution, it can be classified as municipal wastewater. The sources of water pollution, it can be classified as municipal wastewater, industrial waste, inorganic pollutants, organic pollutants, agriculture waste, marine pollution, thermal pollution. So the sources of water pollution, so here many this can be classified as municipal wastewater, industrial wastewater, inorganic pollutants. So due to inorganic pollutants and organic pollutants, this water is wasted. So this is become a wastewater, and agriculture waste, marine pollution, and also thermal pollution. So first is municipal wastewater. Municipal wastewater, it refers to used water from homes, business, industries, and institutions that drain into sewers. So municipal wastewater, this refers to used water from homes, industries, in business, and also institutions that drain into sewers. Municipal wastewater, it is mainly it constitutes of organic matter. It constitutes organic matter, suspended solids, and pathogens. Municipal water, it is containing organic matter, suspended solids, and pathogens. So the organic matter, it is measured indirectly by oxygen demand methods such as BOD, COD, or etc. So this BOD, it is expressed in terms of oxygen equivalents, so that are needed for the biodegradability of organic matters. So BOD, it is nothing but it is expressed in the terms of oxygen equivalents, so that are needed for the biodegradability of organic matter. So this is about municipal wastewater. So here water pollution by using industrial waste. The major source of water pollution is the wastewater discharged from industries and commercial bodies. These industries are chemical, metallurgical, food processing industries, textile, paper industries. So we are having different industries like chemical industries, that's pharmaceutical industry, metallurgical industry, food processing, and also textile and paper industries. So the major source of water pollution, it is the wastewater which is discharged from the different various industries. So examples: chemical, metallurgical, food industries, and textile, paper industries. So they discharge several organic and inorganic pollutants. So these industries discharge several organic and inorganic pollutants that prove highly toxic to living beings. So here inorganic so these are discharging organic and inorganic pollutants. So prove highly toxic to living beings. These are not suitable for the living beings. So inorganic pollutants, they include fine particles of different metals. Here in inorganic means different metals, chlorides, sulfates, oxides of iron, cadmium, acids and alkalis. So the industrial waste, it is having organic and also inorganic. Inorganic pollutants include particles of different metals, chlorides, sulfides and oxides of iron, cadmium, acids and alkalis. So these are very harmful to the human beings. See here, organic pollutants. So they include oils, fats, phenols, organic acids, grease, and several other organic compounds. So organic pollutants are, so this includes oils, fats, phenols, and organic acids, grease, and also several other organic compounds. So from agriculture waste, the chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So we are using pesticides and fertilizers for the agriculture, for farming, in agriculture industry for farming. So here chemical fertilizers and pesticides, these have become essential for present day, uh, for high yielding crops. For high yielding crops we are using fertilizers and pesticides in more quantity. So this is very essential. So here this consequently they have become a potential source of water pollution. So here this causes the, consequently this become potential source of water pollution. These fertilizers contain major plant nutrients, mainly nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So here in fertilizers we are having nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So excess fertilizers may reach the groundwater by the leaching or may be mixed with surface water of rivers. This can be mixed with groundwater, otherwise these are mixed with surface water of rivers and lakes and ponds. So by runoff and drainage. So this is about agriculture waste and marine pollution. So ocean are the final sink of all natural man-made pollutants. Ocean. So these are, oceans are the final sink of all natural man-made pollutants. So rivers, these discharge their pollutants into the sea. So the sewage and garbage of coastal cities, so these are also dumped into the sea. So this marine pollution in this oceans are the final sink. So here rivers are discharge their pollutants into the sea and oceans finally. So the sewage and garbage of the coastal cities, so these are also dumped into the sea. The other sources include discharge of oils, grease, detergents and radioactive waste from the ship. So other sources of marine pollutions, these include discharge of oils while doing the transportation of oils and grease detergents. So these include the other sources of that marine pollution. This includes discharge of oils, grease, detergents and radioactive waste from the ship. So this is about marine pollution. So here what is thermal pollution? Thermal pollution of water, it is caused by the rise in the temperature of water. So here thermal pollution of water, it is caused by the rise in the temperature of water. So the main source of thermal pollution are the thermal and nuclear power plants. The main reason it is due to thermal and nuclear power plants. So the power generating plants use water as a coolant and the release hot water into the original source. So these are releasing the hot water. These are used, the water is used as a coolant in power generating plants and these are released as a hot water into original source. So the sudden rise in the temperature. So the sudden rise in the temperature in the original source. So this kills the fish and other aquatic animals. So the temperature, the increase in temperature, this may leads to the killing of fish and aquatic animals. So this is thermal pollution. What are the effects of water pollution? So water pollution, it is defined as the introduction of foreign pollutants into body of water. So water pollutants, so pollution, it is nothing but the introduction of foreign substances, so pollutants into the body of water. So these pollutants can cause illness or even death in the organisms. So that rely on the water body. So here the effects of water pollution are typically severe. So this is because water is able to dissolve many substances. So these substances easily enter into the human body if the tainted water is consumed. So here we know that water is able to dissolve many substances. So when we consume this water, so this is consumed by the human body. So the tainted water, that is the water which is having different substances, this is consumed by the human body. So this causes illness and death, or even death of the organisms. Besides affecting human health, besides affecting human health, the effects of water pollution, so these can also impact biodiversity. So for instance, when a large quantity of nutrients are introduced into the water body, large quantity of nutrients are introduced into the water body, a phenomenon called eutrophication happens. So when the large quantity of nutrients are introduced into the water body, so the one phenomenon happens, that is eutrophication. So this can result in the depletion of dissolved oxygen. So by the result of this eutrophication process, so the depletion of dissolved oxygen. So here depletion of dissolved oxygen. So it is takes place. It is affected the water. So in the affected water body, essentially killing fish and other aquatics. If depletion of dissolved oxygen takes place, so it is very dangerous to the fish and other aquatic organisms. So these are some of effects of water pollution. So here, water pollution. So this is having short term and long term effects. So here, the water pollution, this can bring about disastrous consequences. For instance, a factory that pumped out a very toxic waste product into the sea directly contributed to causing neurological illness to the an entire town of many decades. So this is example of Minamata incident. So this is a water pollution. This can bring about disastrous consequences. For instances, so a factory that pumped a very toxic waste product into the sea. So directly it is contributed to causing neurological illness to the entire time of many decades. So many decades from the entire city. So these are suffering from the neurological illness because of the factory which is pumped out a very toxic waste product into the sea. So this is example, that is this is explained. So this is example of Minamata incident. So the following are the effects of water pollution. Water pollution drastically affects human health. So we know that it affects the human health. In fact, it can kill. See, in 2015 alone, a study revealed that waterborne illness caused 1.8 million deaths worldwide. So waterborne illness, it is caused 1.8 million deaths worldwide. So it can cause contamination of drinking water, so thereby contributing to waterborne illness. So here water pollution also affects the ecosystem. It can cause phenomenon called eutrophication. So this can cause the fish and other aquatic organisms to die. So toxic elements dissolved in water can make their way to humans through fish or other aquatic organisms. Water pollution also leaches chemicals into the soil that may impact the growth of plants and other food crops. So next pollution is soil pollution. So in this land pollution or soil pollution, both are same. So this is the demolition of earth's land surfaces, often caused by human activities and the misuse of land resources. So it occurs when waste is not disposed properly. So main reason is soil pollution occurs when waste is not disposed properly. And also one more reason, that is urbanization and industrialization. These are major causes of land pollution. The four main causes of land pollution are construction of buildings, agriculture, domestic waste and industrial waste. So these are the four main causes of land pollution. So here construction, buildings take up resources and land. The trees are chopped down, they are cut down and used to make buildings. So buildings are Buildings take up resources and land. For the construction of buildings, so we need a place, we need a land. So the buildings take up resources and land. So that trees which are placed, which are there in the land, so these are chopped down and used to make buildings. So these takes away the places of animals and other organisms to live. And one more reason is agriculture, that is farming. As there are more and more people inhabiting on the earth, so food is a higher demand, food is in higher, so we are having some more population. Because of more population, so we need a more food, the food is in higher demand, and so forests are chopped down and turned into a farmland. So in this agriculture also, because of population, so we are cut down the forest, and that is turned into the farmland for the agriculture. So in addition, herbicides, pesticides, artificial fertilizers, animal manure, so these are washed into the soil, and this will can pollute the soil. So here we are using, in agriculture we are using herbicides, pesticides and fertilizers, so and animal manure. So these are washed into the soil, and these can pollute the soil. So domestic waste. So tons of domestic waste, it is dumped every day. Tons of domestic waste. We know that tons of domestic waste, it is dumped every day. So some waste from homes, offices, industries. So these can be recycled or burnt uh, in some equipments. This called as incinerators. So here tons of domestic waste. So it is dumped every day. We know that. So and there is a still lot of garbage. So there is a, so even though we are dumping the so domestic waste in every day, so some of the this waste is recycled and that is burnt in incinerators, and there is a still a lot of garbage such as refrigerators and washing machines, so that are dumped in landfills simply because they cannot reused anyway, and they are not recycled. So here, so the water which is used, so here there is still a lot of garbage such as refrigerators and washing machines that are dumped in landfills simply. So this is because of, so they cannot be reused anyway and not recycled. So industrial waste, from industrial waste, so plastic factories, so plastic factories, chemical plants like pharmaceuticals, and also oil refineries, nuclear waste disposal activity, large animal farms, coal-fired power plants, metals. So these all industries. The plastic factories, chemical plants, oil factories, oil refineries, nuclear waste disposal activity, and large animal farms, coal-fired power plants, and metals factories. So these the production, so metal production factories and other heavy industry all contribute to the land pollution. So these are disposing many chemicals into the land. So because of that, so soil pollution is taking place. So what are the effects of soil pollution? Soil pollution, this refers to the contamination of soil with anomalous concentrations of toxic substances. Soil pollution, this harbors a broad spectrum of negative consequences that affect plants, animals, humans, and the ecosystem as a whole. So here, this is having a negative soil pollution. It is having a negative consequences that affect the plants, animals, humans, and the ecosystem as a whole. Since children are more susceptible to diseases, polluted soil, this poses a greater threat to them. So because children they play in the soil, so since the children these are more susceptible to diseases. So polluted soil, this is very dangerous for the children. And some important effects of soil pollution are detailed in this subsection. So we are having another effects. So this we will explain in detail. So effects of soil pollution on human beings. Soil contaminants can exist in all three phases: solid, liquid, and gaseous. So soil contaminants, this can exist in three phases: solid contaminants, liquid contaminants, and gaseous contaminants. So therefore, these contaminants can find their way into the human body via several channels, such as direct contact with the skin or through the inhalation of contaminated soil dust. So we are having different contaminants like solid, liquid, and gaseous. So these contaminants can find their way into the human body via several channels, such as direct contact, direct contact with the skin, or through the inhalation of contaminated soil dust. So the short-term effects of human exposure to polluted soil include these are short-term effects of human exposed to the polluted soil. So that because of the polluted soil, so when the human exposed to the polluted soil, some short-term effects are there. So that include headaches, nausea and vomiting, coughing, the pain in the chest and wheezing, irritation of skin and eyes, fatigue and weakness. So these are the short-term effects of human exposure to the polluted soil. So here some long-term elements. So a variety of long-term elements. So these have been linked to the soil pollution. Some such diseases are listed below. So here exposure to high levels of lead can result in the permanent damage to the nervous system. So here when we expose to the high levels of lead, so this can result in the permanent damage to the nervous system. So children are particularly vulnerable to lead. So these are very particular for vulnerable. So these children are particularly vulnerable to lead. So depression of CNS. So by high levels of lead, depression of cells, that is central nervous system. So damage to the vital organs such as the kidney and the liver, and it is having a higher risk of developing cancer. And it can be noted that many soil pollutants such as petroleum, hydrocarbons and industrial solvents have been linked to the congenital disorders in humans. So thus the soil pollution can have several negative effects on human health. So these soil pollution, it is having long term and as well long term, short term and long term effects on the human and living things. So what is the effects of soil pollution on plants and animals? Since soil pollution, it is often accompanied by the decrease in the availability of nutrients. So soil pollution, it is also accompanied with the decrease in the availability of nutrients. So the plant life, this ceases to thrive in such soils. Soils contaminated with inorganic aluminum, so this can prove toxic to plants. So this aluminum, the inorganic aluminum, it is very toxic to the plants. So it is also this type of pollution often increases the salinity of the soil. It will increase the salinity of soil, making it is inhospitable for the growth of plant life. It is making the soil inhospitable for the growth of plant life because of salinity. So plants that are grown in polluted soil may accumulate higher concentrations of soil pollutants through a process known as bioaccumulation. The plants that are grown in a polluted soil may accumulate high concentrations of soil pollutants. So the plants, these are the which are grown in a polluted soil, this may accumulate high concentration of soil pollutants through a process known as bioaccumulation. So that process is called as bioaccumulation. When these plants are consumed by herbivores, so all the accumulated pollutants, these are passed up to the food chain. So this when the plants which are having highly pollutants, soil pollutants, these consumed by herbivores, so all the accumulated pollutants, these are passed to the food chain. So this can result in the loss or extinction of many desirable animal species. So these pollutants can eventually make their way to the top of the food chain and manifest as diseases in human beings. So what are the effects of soil pollution on ecosystem? Since the volatile contaminants in the soil can be carried away into the atmosphere by winds and or can seep into the underground water reserves. Soil pollution, it can be direct contributor to air and water pollution. Soil pollution, it is a direct contributor to the air and water pollution. So it can also contribute to the acid rain. So it effect of soil pollution, it can also contribute to the acid rain. So here in acid rain, it will release by releasing huge quantity of ammonia into the atmosphere. So we will get by releasing huge quantity of ammonia into the atmosphere, it will contribute to the acid rain. So acidic soils, these are inhospitable to several microorganisms that improve soil texture and help in the decomposition of organic matter. So thus the negative effects of soil pollution also impact soil quality and texture. So crop yield, it is greatly affected. The crop yield. So in agriculture industry, so crop yield, it is greatly affected by this form of pollutions. This soil pollution. So example in China, over 12 million tons of grain. So what approximately 2.6 million US dollars, it is found to be unfit for human consumption. So in 12 million tons of grain, it is found to be unfit for human consumption due to contamination with heavy metals, uh, like lead and like that, lead and tin. And as per studies, these conducted in a China dialogue. So here example of crop yield. So in China, over 12 million tons of grain, it is wasted. It is unfit for human consumption due to contamination of these grains by heavy metals. So thank you so much.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.